Okay, good evening everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is the technical analysis stock market update for Thursday, January 9th, 2014. We're going to go ahead and get into the indices like we normally do, look at some indicators, and then talk about two new trade ideas and one update. Okay, let's take a look at the stock market. The Dow was down 17.9 points today. Basically, it almost looks like a little doji. we're kind of going sideways here. It almost looks like we've had a little bit of a leg down, a little bit of a leg up, and a little bit of a leg down here. I've moved this number 2 over to this point because I think this is still work in progress. I remember a few days ago I had said, I think it was the weekend, I said I thought that maybe this was going to push sideways, and it looks like it has. Although I'm not sure that this correction is of this magnitude. It kind of seems more like this kind of, magnitude in terms of what we got going on. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. And of course, tomorrow morning, the big economic indicator is the jobs report. It comes out at 7:30 Central Time. So that's going to have a major impact on things. And the earnings season started today. I don't know what Alcoa reported, but I believe they were the first one out. They're always the first one out of the box, Alcoa. So the earnings season has started again for this quarter. So let's take a look at S&P 500. Kind of the same thing, kind of working sideways. A couple dojis, pretty distinct in here. And again, what are we talking about? This is a sign of indecision, a sign of, no direction. So I think the market's just trying to, catch its breath a little bit and trying to figure out where it's going. We've had a pretty good move here from the last 3 weeks leading up to the 1st of January. NASDAQ. Again, we've talked about how we're not really seeing any, negative divergence. NASDAQ's pushing, it's pulled back up again to the top of this channel that we're in, but it just keeps continuing to push higher. It's really hard to see that that it's really showing anything else. The ranges are pretty narrow, pretty small. But we are getting up in the bigger numbers too, so just graphically the way it's looking and being depicted is a little bit different. Let's take a look at, let's see, the next thing I want to look at, let's look at some of the indicators at the VIX volatility index. It's basically gone sideways after this move down on, when was this, Tuesday? The 7th? Yes, Tuesday was the 7th. Okay, so it's hanging still very low down in here at 12.89. No sign that is turning up. And I want to look at the short-term trading index. There it is, trend that I call it. It's kind of moved sideways here over the 10-day exponential. It's moved sideways here after pulling back up above 1.0. We don't have any extreme readings. All our readings are clustering here in the middle. So we're not getting anything up here after we had this one up here at 1.5. And we've had a couple, down over here. When was this? Towards the end of December when it kind of forced this 10-day, down in here. But nothing last couple of days. So, and the last thing I wanted to look at on the indicators was the high-low index. It looks like it's turning up. Okay, so a little bit of an expansion here, 191 more new highs than new lows. So the 20-day is turning up, the 10-day is curving up above the 20-day. So it looks like it's trying to push higher. We'll see if it does and see if it moves on up like this, up above this point, and push up into this area. So that would be, and we would definitely be getting rallies if that's starting to happen. So we'll just have to look and see. Okay, and the 3 ETFs I like to look at. Let's take a look at the Financial Select Spider ETF XLF. It is continuing. I thought maybe we were getting a little divergence in here, but it hasn't. It's pushed higher, so the divergence didn't come through, and just continued push. But again, we're getting a little bit of a indecision type doji here. Had a series of them here. It's just, again, it's nothing in my opinion to trade off of, but just kind of making note of the market action in terms of what the market's actually doing. So it's continuing to slightly push higher. Now the good news is, the financials are staying up there, which is nice. And so even though the market's corrected sideways, the financials still are pushing higher. So that is a nice sign. Let's look at the semiconductors. Semiconductors have actually, if you go back here to December 9th, they've basically gone sideways for the last month. So, they sold off, came back, sold off a little bit, but we're basically sideways over the last month. And then the home builders has pulled back over the last 6 days, but if you go back again a month ago, December 9th, it's pretty nice move to the upside for the home builders. So that's looking good. So we're not really seeing anything really negative there. So I'm kind of expecting this little correction to work itself out, and then for us to get another push moving higher. Okay, now I wanted to just quick update on Apache. We did not get stopped out today because, again, I was looking for a close below 86.03. We did not get it. We were at 86.09. And so now I'm keeping with a 2-day low, even though it brings me down below a little bit. So I'm looking for a close of 85.33 or below. And I sure would love to see this thing open up and push to the upside after this sideways type of action in here. So that's what I'm looking for on Apache. And let's see, Mosaic. I had this trade idea on Mosaic 2 days ago, then it closed above the 10, so the trade idea went off. Now it's back on because we got to close below the 10 again. So what I'm looking for is a confirming close, a second close below the 10 that's lower than this close. So that's why I'm saying I'm looking for a close below less than 46.13, which would be a close lower than this close, and they would both be below the 10. And then I think that's an entry point to sell or buy puts. That's my trade idea on Mosaic at this point. And let's see, the last one is Citrix Systems, CTXS. Citrix looks like it's turning and trying to turn higher. This is the action it's been doing, and the 20 is above the 50, the 10 is above the 20. We had a little corrective action coming back down here. Broke the high of this bar. Now I'd like to see a close greater than this blue line, the 10-day exponential moving average, and then I would look to buy or buy calls, okay, for another short-term swing up, and would have to look to see what our parameters would be on that. So that's the new trade idea on Citrix Systems, and that's it for tonight. We will talk to you again this weekend. Hope you guys have a great Friday. We'll see what happens with the market tomorrow morning. This has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. Thanks for stopping by.